0.5 grendel. Is it worth it? Well, worth it how? Worth it for a target shooting round? Worth it for a hunting round? I think the answer for both of those is yes. It is worth it. If you want something in an AR-15 that you can shoot consistently out to extended distances in this case being beyond that of 223, then yeah, it's absolutely worth it. However, being a less than super common round, it is difficult to get brass or ammunition for this particular round. It's an awesome round. It does the job. It does everything that you've heard people say it can do. And it lives up to the hype. But it's difficult to find ammunition for it. And with the introduction of the 6 ARC, I'm wondering if it's going to get more and more difficult. I'm not 100% sure if it is or not, but I'm wondering if it is. So if you can get your hands on the ammunition consistently, I believe you should definitely go for this gun. If you want something for target shooting or for hunting deer out to, say, 600 yards, or, 300 yards. I shoot this thing target-wise out to 600 yards. If you want something to fit that niche, this is an awesome gun for it. This isn't even an expensive gun, and I'm getting sub-minute groups. Now, your accuracy may vary between manufacturers and barrel manufacturers, but this is literally just a Bear Creek Arsenal upper, and big issue with Bear Creek is their quality control. I mean, it's hit or miss. You could buy one of their uppers and get a great upper. I've got 2 of their uppers. They both are awesome uppers, but there's also bad uppers out there. That being said, I'm getting, with the 6.5 grendel, sub-minute consistently with all bullet weights that I've tried so far. I've tried 3 separate bullet weights, the 123 grain, the 130 grain, and the 95 grain VMAXs, and they're all giving me consistent accuracy of a little bit over an MOA or sub-MOA if I put the effort into it. Some of these I didn't even put effort into the loads, and I was getting sub-minute MOA regardless. And it was just, I really think it comes down to having a heavy barrel. You'll hear people say that the 6.5 grendel is inherently accurate. I do believe that to be the case. And if it weren't for the availability issue, I would say, heck, go for this over a 223. But because I can't find the ammo for it as consistently, I can't suggest someone go out there and buy this over, say, a 223. If you already have a 223, then you just wanted to throw something in the arsenal that's just a little different, definitely go for this if you can find the ammo for it. It's a great round. Again, I've shot it out to 600 yards. It's a nice round to shoot out that far. No recoil. Here's why. It's a 6.5 Creedmoor, which a lot of people think the 6.5 Creedmoor is not a heavy recoiling rifle cartridge. Literally, the case is just a hair over an inch and a half. So, I mean, I had an empty case. It's the cutest little thing. It's like less than the width of 2 of my fingers, almost. I mean, if you've never handled one, you really should, because it really is the cutest little cartridge. Just being so kind of short and stubby. Anyways, over to the reloading portion, and some of the people who don't reload for this aren't really going to be interested, or people who don't reload at all. So, on the right is a 6mm projectile stuck in a 6.5 Grendel piece of brass. And on the left is a 6.5 projectile stuck on a 7.62 by 39 piece of brass. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I've literally been taking 7.62 by 39 brass, necking it down to 6.5, and fire forming it out, and making my own 6.5 Grendel brass. And this works amazingly. Like, I've actually gotten better accuracy results out of 7.62 by 39 brass than I have from Hornady factory brass. So it's one of those things. It's like, if you could put the effort in, a little bit of effort goes a long way. So, reloading, of course. Literally went out yesterday, got a Coldwell brass catcher. I should have had one of these months ago when I bought this gun. I did not know that the brass was going to dry up like it did. And for me, I really don't mind fire forming it like that to make the brass, so it's not really that big of a deal. Oops, oh well. Anyhow, I literally put a piece of felt right there on the upper receiver, because every time these things would eject, they would come back and they would flip around and smack the neck right there, and consistently on every piece of brass I fired with this gun, the neck would be dinged. And well, then I realized, okay, instead of what's typical with 223 is if it's overgassed, it's going to come back and it's going to hit this on the side of the body of the cartridge and leave a ding there. Well, this thing was flipping it around and hitting it on the neck because the case is just so dang short. One moment, I'm going to go grab a 223 piece of brass, and you can kind of see exactly what I'm talking about. So there you go. That's a 223 piece of brass. I mean, this thing is just so much shorter than the 223 piece. And it's just, see it side by side there. I mean, it's just petite is the word I would use for it. It's kind of chunky because it's just such a fat little case. The downside to it is this looks like a 30-round magazine, but it, in fact, is not a 30-round magazine. It is a 25-round magazine, because as you stack these things in there, that is so much bigger of a diameter that once you fill this up, you end up with way less ammo because the diameters just take up that much more space. But you can see what I was talking about when it came to accuracy. Long, skinny powder column, really short, stubby powder column. Inconsistent burn. In theory, inconsistent burn, more consistent burn. In theory. There's arguments for and against that. So there you have it. If you reload, absolutely go for this. You can just make your brass out of anything almost. I mean, 22 Russian. You can make your brass out of 22 Russian cases if you really needed to. 6 BPC is another one you can make brass out of. So if you reload, it's absolutely worth it. If you can find the ammo, it's absolutely worth it. Besides the availability of this cartridge, which is the big downside to this, yeah, it's worth it.